What's good, everybody?
What up, though? What up?
We are back again for another episode of the No Hedging Podcast, man. Look, and I woke up feeling real good today.
Oh, yeah?
You know why I was feeling so good?
Tell me about it.
Man, matter of fact, let me talk my talk for a second.
Okay.
Can I get a Stone Cold Steve Austin what?
What?
Man, I woke up. I done came back so many times I'm feeling like Rocky.
Okay.
I'm on a roll, they can't stop me.
Okay.
You know, when you winning like this, you know, what's L?
L? Never heard of it.
Man, listen. Rip 16 the GOAT. That's a little GOAT talk for you, and I'm here with my esteemed co-host. He goes by the name of
Ty the Jet, man.
And we are the Mighty No Hedging Podcast duo, man.
That we are.
And like I said, man, it's just been a lot of W's, a lot of wins. I've been winning so much, like it's crazy. My best bets, I'll get to that later on in the show. I'll get to that part later on. But fantasy, I don't want 5 games in a row. Number 1 in the league right now. Most incredible.
It's hot.
Super hot. Parlays hitting, fantasy hitting, everything bust.
I like it.
As Moneybags say, man. So we back, man. We need y'all to like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to get in on these W's, get in on these wins. Come on with it. All you got to do is get in with me.
Yep. Shout out to the new followers over the past week. We appreciate y'all. New subscribers. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel so we can get more content out to you, more topics out to you, and more hot shit. So let's go ahead and jump into it, man. Let's take us in.
Oh yeah. Real quick before that, though, them props made easy.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get your subscription yet? Like, we're going into week 7. You got a lot more football to do. Mm-hmm. I know you're going to be sitting there in front of your phone and in front of your TV, looking back and forth in between the two. Don't stress yourself out too hard. Make the props easy. That's why we keep telling you, just go ahead and click that subscription link. It's going to give you some nice analytics. It's going to give you the best EV projections for the matchup. What makes sense? Whose line is too high? Whose line is too low? You can tap in there at any given point. But, you know, I mean, I think it's always smart to catch those early lines before they start shifting and seeing where all the money's going, and they start changing stuff on you. Now, Vegas is tricky now. But props made easy is going to make it a little bit easier on you, a lot less stressful, man. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Without further ado, should we get the folks some takeaways from
Let's
last
talk
week?
about it.
Let's get into takeaways from week 6 of the NFL season. What you got, buddy?
So my first takeaway, and I've been riding this wave for a while now.
You have.
Been riding this wave. Caleb Williams, man. Let's talk about Caleb. Young Caleb Williams, first year starter in the NFL.
4-2.
First couple weeks weren't looking that great. But as we start to see, he was progressing week after week. Right. They start incorporating the run game. That defense is too good for them not to be good.
That defense is really good.
You got healthy Keenan Allen. Your team is healthy.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen got into the end zone this week in London. First game in London for Caleb Williams, and he comes away with the dub. We think Jacksonville is going to, this is a home game for Jacksonville, but the Chicago Bears just beat the brakes off of them.
Jacksonville, I'm gonna get into them a little bit.
But yeah, Caleb Williams, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 226 yards, 23 of 29, very efficient game. And he was just he was manning the ship out there. He was playing the point guard.
But DeAndre Swift, 91 yards off of 17 carries.
Yep, got to run the ball.
But he's being efficient with the running as well. He got into the end zone. I don't know how many games in a row, but I think that's like 3-4 games in a row he's gotten into the end zone too.
Yeah.
So I think as long as they can continue to run the ball and give you solid output with their receiving core between Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet and Keenan Allen got the 4 touchdowns. DJ Moore didn't even have
He was off.
He was off. He didn't even have a good game.
He was touring in London. He was just visiting.
He was out there.
He was off. Yeah, he was just touring, looking at London towers and such. But
that's good when your wide receiver 1 doesn't have a good game and you still blow the other team out. So to me, And you had less than 100 yards rushing from your leading back. So that just tells me that, one, the Jacks suck. And for two, the Bears, it's working out so far. 4-2 right now in a pretty tough division, but I think that's good for them.
Yeah, so, I mean, what I noticed, so the problem was in the beginning of the season was the offensive line for the Chicago Bears wasn't looking as good. Caleb was getting hit a lot. There was a lot of pressure. But that stemmed from them not being consistent running the ball. You have to be a little bit more balanced because these offensive linemen, they don't like to pass protect all the time, right? No. So all these other teams are just teeing off on them. And I think it was a lot of pressure from the Bears organization, offensive coordinator, thinking Caleb Williams can go out there and just light them up and just throw the ball, put them in pass situations a lot.
He needs time, man.
Yeah, you need to have some balance. So when you're able to balance and run the football, those offensive linemen, they love that. There's not a lot of pressure on them. So that helped with Caleb Williams being able to be a little bit more balanced, throw the ball more efficiently, and make his game a lot easier. He's able to make those one look, two reads, and just go ahead and let the ball go and let it rip. So the game is pretty much slowing down for Caleb Williams right now. So shout out to Caleb. That's one of my takeaways for this weekend, man. Love to see it.
Okay.
4-2, Chicago Bears.
Yeah, that was a good one. And one of my takeaways was my other squad. You know, I love two teams. This is how long I've been a fan. I almost said San Diego. Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers came out there and caught it up. Now, you and I both actually probably didn't have high expectations for them to win this game, especially how Denver has been playing and how the defense has been able to do stuff. But they came out here and won the game by a touchdown. Credit to them coming off the bye week. Third down efficiency looks like a huge discrepancy between the two teams.
Denver was awful.
Denver was 3-11 on third down. So that means you're getting a hellified amount of 3 and outs there. And then also the Chargers were 11 of 18 on third down. So they were converting a lot of good third downs, had 22 first downs opposed to Denver 17. And I think that makes a big difference in the game. Plus time of possession, they dominated that. So that comes to that Harbaugh running the ball.
Yep. Controlling the clock,
managing the game, and they had less penalties. So overall, I like what I got from the Chargers. That's very good coming off a bye week. That's what you want. No turnovers, and you win a division game. I think they're on pace to become second in the division behind the Chiefs, which gives them a shot at a wild card spot. So I do like what the Chargers have going on right now. 3-2. After the bye, still a lot more football to play. They had an early bye week. That can be a gift and a curse sometimes, but I think it gives them the opportunity to heat up during the playoffs if they stay healthy. So I like what the Chargers did in that takeaway.
It was impressive, but it was against the Broncos. So
it was against the Broncos, but it's a division game. Yeah. It's an important game.
Yeah, it is, but it's not against the Chiefs. It doesn't hold that much weight. It holds weight, but not as much.
We know the Chiefs are winning the division. We're not even finna sit here and I ain't even finna sit here and play with you and wrestle and do all that. The Chiefs are gonna win the division. That's not what we're fighting for. We're fighting for a wild card spot.
Gotcha.
So
fair enough.
So we have realistic expectations for a Charger Nation.
Okay.
Bolt up though. Go ahead, bolt up.
Yeah, so my next takeaway is going to be one of our must-see TV games from last week is the Ravens and the Commanders.
Yes, sir.
Battle of the dynamic quarterbacks and Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels. This was an exciting game to watch, man. It was very entertaining. Lamar Jackson, he had an MVP-like performance in this game.
Yes, he did.
Throwing the ball very well. He was very efficient. 20 of 26, 323 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. That interception wasn't his fault. It bounced off the Mark Andrews' hands and walked into somebody else's hands. So I don't even count that interception as his. But in the stat line, it's going to be his.
It's not his.
Yeah, so
it's going to you, brother.
They ran the ball like they should. Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 132 yards.
Derrick Henry is looking like early Tennessee Derrick Henry right about now.
And Zay Flowers went nuts. He had his career high game versus the Washington Commanders defense, which we all know their defense.
9 receptions.
Their defense is not good, passing, right? So obviously they're not, Lamar threw for over 300 on this defense. But what I'm most impressed about is the way that they made this game pretty close.
They did.
Throughout the whole game. It wasn't a blowout. They were able to be competitive. And that says a lot about Washington. That says a lot about what they're doing. And, shout out to Jaden Daniels.
Still no interception. Well, he had an interception last week in week 5, but he didn't have any interceptions against the Ravens. So I like that. I like the fact. I expected the Ravens to win this game for sure. But I do like the fact that he still played pretty clean and they were still very competitive in this game. It wasn't just a runaway for the Ravens, who should be the better team. I think the sacks allowed, they had 3. The Ravens had 2. They end up punting 3 times. Washington hadn't done a whole lot of punting. They probably punted maybe like 5 times all season. Yeah. But they had 3 punts. But against the Ravens, I'm not terribly mad at that. The Ravens are a good team. Of course, their Achilles heel still is the defense at this point, because the offense is still flowing pretty well. But
they had a terrible rushing game outing as well, but their performance wasn't that good.
So, they didn't have many rushing yards, right? And part of that was Robinson was out. So they made Eckler your running back 1. But they use Eckler kind of as a receiver a lot, too. So he only had 9 carries.
It's an extension of the run game. That's what they do. They do short passes to the running back as an extension of the run game.
Right. And Eckler only had 9 carries from scrimmage, but, he had 4 receptions also, getting 11.5 yards per reception. So when they do pass it to him, he does something with it. I think if they keep working that and, playing against other teams, then I think ultimately that does feed into what they can produce as a team and, still continue and fight. Possibly, honestly, the way that division is shaping up, they still not out of it for winning that division.
No.
They're in very, very good striking distance to still win that division and secure a playoff spot, but at least a wild card spot if they keep up this momentum.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how long can that offense cover up the deficiencies in that defense. You know what I mean? Because as we see, when
Jaden is helping them out.
When you play a team of the caliber like the Ravens, you see they get a little bit exposed on that defensive end. Like in the previous weeks, defense has been playing somewhat decent, but they've been covered up by the offensive performances and also the other teams that they've been playing. They haven't been playing talent like the Ravens. So
right, they haven't been playing talent like the Ravens. But the thing is, with the Commanders right now, for them to go in playing against a team like the Ravens on the road and then end up losing that game by 7. I mean, Washington's right by Baltimore, so I don't know how the fan base was balanced in that building. But losing by 7 to the Ravens in a game where Derrick Henry has 132 yards rushing and Zay Flowers has 132 yards receiving, and you still only lose this game by 7, that's a good sign for them. Yeah. They didn't win the game, but that's a good sign for them. Yeah. So I'm not panicking on it. Jaden Daniels still put together a good performance, having 269 passing yards and no interceptions. I'm not mad at it. But with that being said, it is some people that we do need in our next segment. A segment that I'm loving already.
Oh, I love it.
It's called Clock Out for Me, Big Dawg.
Clock out.
We still got some people who didn't do so well last week. We talked about our takeaways and the people that we liked, but who did you not like last week? Who do you need? I'm gonna need for you to clock out for me, Big Dawg.
Hey man, Jerry Jones. It is time for you to clock out from the GM role. This doesn't make any sense. The reason why the Dallas Cowboys are getting the doors blown off of them is because they were too arrogant. Jerry Jones, not they. Jerry Jones,
not them,
is too arrogant to believe that they needed a running back. They are putting all this pressure on Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, primarily Dak Prescott, to take them to the promised land. And that's not the answer. They need a running back. They can't run the ball. So you got Dak throwing the ball, pinning his ears back. The offensive line isn't as good as it has been in previous years. So you putting more pressure on the offensive line, which is in fact putting more pressure on Dak Prescott, which is getting these performances. So they could have went and got Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry only get paid what?
Asked for a lot of money.
$8 million.
He didn't even ask for a lot of money. And he already trains in Dallas. And he said, I want to be a Cowboy.
I want to be a Cowboy. I would love to be a Cowboy. Then he also said, I didn't get any calls from Dallas.
That's crazy.
And Jerry Jones says, we couldn't afford him.
$8 million? Really?
That's what he said.
Man, listen. My problem with Jerry Jones.
Clock out, big dog.
Clock out for me, big dog. My problem with Jerry Jones is he's a little arrogant, right?
Arrogant.
He got it. What did you tell me last week? Simmer down.
Simmer down.
The problem with Jerry Jones is he goes on this show and he tells the host of that show, don't ask him certain questions. And if you don't want to ask me the right questions, I'll get somebody else to ask me the questions I want you to ask me. Who does? That's some RNS right there. Mm-hmm. That's some rich naysayer stuff. My guy came on somebody else's show and told them that they should ask better questions, and he got an attitude. You got the fucking brakes beat off of y'all, 47-9. First of all, that last little 6 points was on some last minute humbug bullshit. So really, it was about to be 47-3. But my whole thing is, you can't have that attitude when you are the GM. You constructed this team. Everybody's begging you to get a run game. You sit here playing with the quarterback. Oh, well, we'll get Dak whenever we get him. You playing with your quarterback. You giving him his fucking contract 15 minutes before week 1 of the game. Mm-hmm. You're playing around with CeeDee Lamb. Mm-hmm. You're giving him the last minute of training camp. Mm-hmm. You're giving him money. I'm like, listen, you know you needed Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, mm-hmm. Micah Parsons, and a running back. That's your top 4 things you needed to do within the offseason.
Well, they did get a running back. They got a washed up Ezekiel Elliott for pennies on the dollar. They probably paying him for his,
for his time.
They paying him just to be there. You know what I'm saying? And they paying him in bubble gum and nickels.
Well, you're mid right now. You're looking like you might not even make the playoffs. They're on their definition of mid right now. They're on track to go 8-9. If we're being honest, and they probably won't make the playoffs because the Eagles are getting better. They're getting healthier.
Yep.
Washington has shown up.
Yep.
The Giants' defense is actually playing pretty well. Mm-hmm. So they've managed to squeak by in some victories or make it close or something. They trying.
Well, here's the thing. This is the second blowout this year.
That's what I'm saying. That's not good.
You get blown out by the Saints. And you get blown out by the Detroit Lions.
That's not good.
One time it's an anomaly. It's an anomaly.
One time you can have a bad game.
Two times. That tells me who you are.
It's you.
That tells me who you really are.
Dallas
at home at that in both games.
Forget Houston. Dallas, you got a problem.
Yeah, Dallas, you got a problem.
I think it's time for Jerry Jones to go ahead and clock out.
Yeah, Jerry Jones need to clock out. He need to put that responsibility in somebody's hands who understands personnel. Yes, he drafts talented players. Okay, that's cool. But you got to make sure you're drafting the right players for the team in the right spot, in the right position.
I took off my shades this week just so that Dallas fans could see me and look me in my eyes when I say this. You are Delulu. You've been Delulu for a long time, and Jerry Jones, you're a Cowboys fan because you own the team, and you're hella Delulu. Y'all need help. Somebody humble somebody in that organization and say, you know what, we need some help because this ain't going to get it. You're on track to be sitting at home when the playoffs start.
That's what happens when your owner is the GM, manager, CEO.
But, I mean, just be realistic, though. Just be realistic. Yeah. Look at the stats. Look at what you did during the game. Are you watching the game? They can't run.
Can't run.
They cannot run the ball. Just be real.
And they can't stop it either. They can't make tackles. Because Detroit, they went off. And they was out there.
315 yards for Jared Goff, 3 touchdowns. Still no interceptions.
Detroit went out there and started doing trick plays. putting the offensive lineman at the receiver spot, running them in motion.
They like
throwing the ball to them.
They've been doing that, though.
Oh, they were trolling them boys on Sunday.
Yeah, and both of the running backs, had
shout out to Monty,
games.
man. Monty went nuts. They couldn't tackle him. Probably one of the most underrated backs in the league.
Is he?
I think so.
I don't think
he's been underrated for a long time. Monty been good when he was with Chicago. Shout out to Monty. Got a contract extension. Shout out to Monty, man.
But you're not about to beat nobody with
Nobody
50
talks
yards
about
rushing.
Monty as a top 10 running back, but that's a different subject.
Yeah, it's a different subject.
Or but top 5 running back, I should say.
But you're not about to beat nobody having 53 yards rushing in total. No, you're not beating a good team with that. You got to do better. So,
I mean, they need another receiver too. I mean, CD is cool, but I mean, who's your other guy? I mean,
Are they even in any other receiver conversations?
Brandon Cooks was injured. You got Kayvontae Turpin, who, I mean, he's decent. He's an explosive player. Came from UFL or whatever. Then you got, I think his other guy is going to be Tolbert, which is a good receiver as well. But I mean, outside of that, bro, it's like.
But there were still receiver options, and you didn't get none of them either.
Yeah, they didn't do nothing. They just brought in.
That was like, Zeke. We got some guys that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, Zeke,
and we gonna bring them out here, and they gonna turn up, and they got turned down real bad.
Yeah.
But another team.
Who you got clocking out?
Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't even know who to pinpoint over there. It's so bad. But as a staff, record label, and as a motherfucking crew, I need for y'all to clock out for me, big.
The whole team. Damn.
Yeah. Jacksonville is a cool city. Actually, they got some bridges, some nice water, energetic people, nice energy. I like Jacksonville as a city. However, I don't like them as a football team. They are playing really bad. And I don't even know what they can do to get better.
They got talent.
Yeah, but why is it not coming together? Like, what's wrong? How do you go to London, which is basically a home game for them? How do you go to London and get beat by 19 points from a team that's still developing with a rookie quarterback? Yes, he was a number 1 draft pick. Yes, they have Keenan Allen. Yes, they're starting to generate a run game. However, the defense is the strength of the Bears. Why is the offense putting up 35 on you? That's not good. That's a problem. And y'all are 1-5 right now.
Yeah.
And you squeaked by with that one win.
Yeah, when I watch Jacksonville, it looks like it's just a lack of execution. I mean, they got talented players. You can go down the line of the players that they got on both sides of the football. I do think the secondary
Ingram coming back, he had 100 yards receiving.
I think the secondary needs to be addressed a little bit.
A lot of it. They're terrible.
But it's just more so execution, man. Some of these guys dropped. It was a lot of drop passes in that game last week. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint who was to blame. A couple weeks ago, Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson has kind of been in the spotlight because he's going to be the scapegoat for this. People saying he's a Trevor Lawrence is a Doug Peterson, right? So it's like, okay, well, they always going to scapegoat the coach because they paid the player, right? So he goes on camera and says, well, listen, I can only call the plays. I can't go out there and make them, which is true.
True.
Which means that the players aren't executing what's being called. So
8 penalties.
Yeah, undisciplined football team.
And you had the same amount of time of possession. But what Chicago did with basically the same amount of time of possession was double the points. So my whole thing is it's a lot of problems over there. 3rd down efficiency, 7 out of 15. The Bears 5 out of 11, which they didn't have crazy, but I mean that tells me that they're having less 3rd downs than y'all. They're getting more 1st downs than y'all. They're having less 3rd down attempts than y'all because they're moving the football and they're playing a lot more efficient than y'all. So I mean, just Jacksonville, you gotta clean that shit up, man.
And the crazy thing is, they were going in the season, prior to as a decent team.
Yeah, poised to have a much better season than they had last season.
Yeah,
but it's not happening. They're 1-5 right now. And it's looking spooky out there. Halloween time is getting spooky for them.
They better beat New England next week.
They better. That's a good bounce back game for them. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. That's a good bounce back game for them, but they gotta tighten up. You gotta tighten the fuck up. Now with all that being said, we got another segment that we starting to like a lot. We already know what the Kansas City Chiefs do. We know that they the favorite to win the Super Bowl. We know that they undefeated. They putting together shit with duct tape and glue over there, and they still winning games. However, besides the Chiefs, who is your contenders and pretenders thus far in this season? What you got?
So far, man, we already discussed them a little bit. I'm going back to the Bears.
You think they're a contender now?
I think they're a contender. 4-2 in the division. The toughest division in football right now.
Who they got in that division? Packers, Minnesota,
Green Bay, and Detroit.
Oof.
A lot of 4-2 teams and one 5-0 team.
I don't know.
No 6. Yeah, 5-0, 6-0, 1-0. Yeah, 5-0. So that division is pretty loaded right now.
They're super loaded.
But I think they're a contender, and here's why.
Okay.
They have a defense.
Yeah, they do.
They have a solid defense.
So does Minnesota.
Yeah. And whenever you have a solid defense, I think defense will prevail, right? You need a defense in the playoffs.
They have the top 1 or 2 defenses in their division. I'll say that.
Yeah.
They 1 or 2.
Now, with Aiden Hutchinson going down in Detroit, that kind of opens the door a little bit for Chicago. Another thing is they started to run the football consistently. We've seen for consecutive weeks that they've been running the football, giving Swift more carries, more attempts. He's been more efficient, scoring in the end zone. Running the football, that carries very well. If you run the football, good things happen, right?
And you need to at least be a threat of a run.
Got to be a threat.
At least if they have to play defense on your run, that's going to open up the passing game, especially with your wide receiving core being healthy now. So, I think that does vote well for them. I have to go through and look at the rest of their schedule to see kind of how they stacking up against some of these other tougher opponents that they got coming up.
Well, the tougher opponents they got coming up are in their division.
which is the challenging part.
Right.
But based on how some of these other teams are playing, they definitely still got a shot at a wild card spot.
Yeah, and then, you got Caleb Williams progressing each and every week. We see the progression each and every week. So you got your quarterback playing well. You got a running game going right, being consistent. And you also got a good defense that knows how to take the football away. And they're not making that many mistakes. And you got all your guys healthy on the offensive side of the football. So I think they're starting to gel, and I think they can be a potential contender right now, as of right now.
Okay.
That's what I got. Chicago Bears. 4-2.
Can I give one of my contenders?
Yeah, of course.
Take it to the crib, man. You see this letter on my hat? I'm gonna go with Atlanta Falcons right now. Playing pretty damn well. Now, the only thing that the Falcons are missing is some edge rushing still. We was hoping we get a little bit more out of it than we have so far from Judon.
They need to call Drew Rosenhaus and say, hey, man, what Hassan Reddick doing?
Exactly. I was just about to get to that. Hassan Reddick, it might be your answer to put them back in the contention.
Absolutely.
Put them all the way as a contender.
Empty the tank. Let's go get them. Empty the tank.
They got a little bit of cap room. I think we got about $9 million in cap space.
Listen, he said he don't want to be the highest paid defensive end, so that's not even a problem.
They got a little bit more room. I think if you, with that extra room that you got in cap space, maybe a couple of restructures in there, you can bring Hassan Reddick in, and it's going to make you a legitimate ass contender because you already won 3 division games already. So you're at the top of the division. So based on what I've seen over these past few weeks, haven't had a lot of road games yet. But the only thing I really seen as a glaring weakness is the other quarterbacks just have too much time to pass. We need some edge rushing. So that Hassan Reddick thing would be phenomenal. But I do think, based on them winning all of their division games so far.
That's key. 3
division games so far. You win key. 3 more games, you in the playoffs.
That's key. That's huge. That's huge.
And it's early.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I think the Falcons are poised to be a legitimate contender right now just because they're playing really well. They're clicking on offense. And if they can manage to get Hassan Reddick on the phone and get him in that building, they become scary.
They become scary.
They're not scary yet.
Yep.
That's the thing about the Falcons. Yeah. They're good, but they're not scary yet. If they get Hassan Reddick, they're scary.
I agree. They got a good quarterback, protects the football, has game-winning drives you can trust. You can trust your quarterback. Let's say
they're closing games.
Situation football, they playing well.
Exactly.
This year. because of the coaching staff, quarterback, right? You got weapons. You spread the ball around. Everybody's performing offensively. You got 2 running backs, 3-4 receivers.
Right? You had 2 running backs, damn near give you 100 yards each.
Yeah, Bijan, Algier. You got a tight end that's a stud when he gets the ball, Pitts. And you got Drake, you got Ray, and you got Darnell Mooney. All them boys show out. They spread the ball around very well. The defense, on the defensive side of football, they are good at stopping the run or slowing down the run to a degree.
To an extent. I want them to do better at the run stoppage. Chuba Hubbard still had 92 yards rushing.
The good thing is you got a good secondary, and they get turnovers.
Yeah.
They force a lot of turnovers.
Yeah,
They're pretty consistent at forcing turnovers. So that kind of balances out that lack of sacks, right? If you're able to get turnovers, then that works. So I agree. They're a contender right now. You get one elite pass rusher, then now we're talking big business right now.
Yeah. Another one of those besides the Chiefs, I wanted to get your take on it. I'm still on the fence on whether they're contenders or pretenders, really. But what do you think about the new look Bills now that they got a little bit of help in the receiving core after that Amari Cooper trade?
Yeah, so with this Bills team, I think the problem with this Bills team was the fact that they didn't have a go-to guy.
Right.
Now, the thing about Amari Cooper, he drops a lot of passes. He drops a lot of passes.
He got a little croak.
He drops a lot. Yeah, he drops a lot of passes. Okay, so that's one flaw about Amari Cooper that is going to be seen. He drops a lot of passes.
Yeah. Somebody putting that brown tub of butter. Somebody putting it on his gloves.
But he's also, I think he's a good receiver. You know what I mean? I think he's a guy. But when you got somebody that drops a lot of passes, it's kind of hard to trust them too, right? So it's kind of hard to say they got somebody that they can trust, but they do need that explosive receiver.
I trust him more than the guys they got right now.
100%. So they do need somebody, a veteran receiver, because the guys they have, they're young. Khalil Shakir, he's more so of an inside guy. Keon Coleman, he needs to learn a little bit more. He's like a one-trick pony kind of guy, run up the sideline. That's the kind of thing that he does. So I think having Amari Cooper helps, but what really helps this Buffalo team is their defense. Their defense has been playing very well as of recent, especially in this Jets game. The only thing that they missed really was James Cook being injured and missed a little bit of the running game.
Their backup running back, that backup running back did nice.
Yeah, Ray did good. He was toting that pill. So, I think Buffalo in this division, as of right now, this new look Bills team, I think they can be a contender because of Josh Allen, man. You got Josh Allen at the quarterback position, and you got to think about it. At the end of the game, the Jets had a chance to get the ball back after that interception. It was 3rd down. Guess who took the ball and got that 1st down? Josh Allen. He ran a quarterback keep on the outside, and that sealed the game. So as long as you got Josh Allen healthy and you got him some weapons, I think they're going to be a decent contender as of right now, is what I'm saying.
Right. They did a little Philadelphia Eagles tush push. Got Josh Allen in the end zone for a rushing touchdown. He threw 2 passing touchdowns. The part that was impressive, though, playing against the Jets defense in that secondary, he did not have any interceptions, which is characteristic of Josh Allen in years past.
He's been protecting the football this season.
Yeah, he's been protecting it with, I would say, subpar receiving core. He's still protecting the football pretty well. So I think having Amari Cooper definitely changes the look for them a lot and puts them as more of a scary team because they still 4-2. So even despite having a couple of tough losses, not looking sensational at times, but they're still 4-2. So I think adding him to the receiving core definitely puts them back into the contender side more than the pretender side. But the jury's still out on what Amari Cooper's gonna do.
Yeah.
We just gotta see. But I got an eye on this new look Bills. Now, on the flip side of that, the team that they played against, they also just got a facelift and a key acquisition, and they made some changes. So they took Hackett out from the play calling.
Yep.
swapped him out.
They said, Hackett, go upstairs.
Take your ass upstairs. Go to your room.
Yeah, go to your room.
They sent him upstairs. They got somebody else calling the plays. Now, they still went and looked a little bit stale at times, but they not as much.
They look different. I saw some motions early in the game.
And Garrett Wilson was getting off.
Yeah, it was different. It was a different look on the offensive side.
It was definitely a different look. Garrett Wilson went out there, had 8 receptions, 107 yards receiving. Lazard, for some reason, is still like Aaron Rodgers' favorite target. He had 114 yards. But he just got his friend Devontae Adams. And Devontae got his hamstring healed up real quick because he's like, I'm expecting to play this week.
Devontae Adams was on the plane. He said his flight left at midnight. Vegas time. Okay. The game was on the East Coast. Midnight Vegas time on the East Coast. Well, midnight Vegas time on the East. That's
West Coast.
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
9 o'clock. He was over there early.
Yeah. He got gone. He got out of town as quick as he could. I don't even know if he packed a bag. He said, I'll buy new stuff when I get there.
Yeah, I'm gone.
He
took a red eye. I'm back.
He restructured his deal a little bit so that they can, pay him for the remainder of the season, finish out, and then at the end of the season, based on performance, they're gonna talk about, what that looks like. As far as the compensation that they gave, he has a conditional third-round pick. If he performs or they make it to a championship game, then I believe it becomes a second-round pick for the Raiders. Do you think, with Devontae Adams assisting in that receiving core, the changes, do you think they can turn it around from this 2-4 season and end up being a playoff team?
I actually do, because I think the issue that happened that was on the offense was communication between Aaron Rodgers and the receivers. I think when you got Tay Adams and Aaron back on the field, there's more of a trust factor there.
A lot more trust.
There's more than anybody being a Chargers fan. Mike Williams dropping key passes, crucial passes.
He's a big play guy, but
whenever the ball goes his way, bad things happen. He throws the balls drop, or it gets intercepted, or he gets hurt. One of those things happen.
A lot. Now, that wasn't good for him.
Right. So
love him.
And then sometimes all three happen at the same time. The ball is dropped, it gets picked off, and it's intercepted. So, with taking that off the field and replacing that with a proven receiver who's a superstar in this league, top 5 receiver for sure.
Yeah.
Somebody that's been working with Aaron Rodgers for years. They know each other. That's going to change the game for sure for Aaron Rodgers. They know each other like the back of each other's hands. So I think that does add value to this Jets team on the offensive side of the football,
especially
but what
in a division where they're not playing that good.
By them letting go of Robert Saleh, I did see that defense become a little bit more undisciplined with the amount of penalties that they were drawing in that game. So,
and it's their first week without him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was one reason I wasn't super high on taking any bets on that game, is just because I don't know what they're gonna look like yet.
Right.
The offense did look a little better.
Yeah.
And I think they'll continue to look better as long as Devontae Adams is out there.
Aaron Rodgers played his best game of the year.
He had 294 yards passing.
Outside of that interception, that really wasn't his fault, but yeah.
So, I mean, I think they're on track to do something nice over there,
Contender? It's hard to say.
They're still a little pretenderish.
The jury's still out.
They're still a little pretenderish.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. But yeah, man, so that kind of covers, what we took away, who our contenders are pretenders, who just needs to clock out for us. But what's your must-see TV from this week 7 that's coming up? Getting into week 7, what do you feel like these folks, they got to see this?
Yeah. Let's take a trip to the NFC North, the North, as we say in Atlanta.
Yeah.
NFC North, you got a matchup between the Detroit Lions, 4-2 Detroit Lions, and the Minnesota Vikings, who are undefeated still.
Yes, sir. Coming off a bye week, too.
Vikings coming off of a bye week. Vikings at home in this matchup.
Yeah.
Off of a bye. Detroit coming off of a beautiful, dominating performance in Dallas.
Yeah.
But they did have some devastating news by losing Hutchinson for the season. Hope he gets better.
That hurts
quickly.
That actually might put them into that Hassan Reddick conversation too.
That would be nice. But this is MustSeeTV, man. You got these two teams in this division. It's a divisional matchup. The Vikings playing very well, obviously. But I think, I'm going to lean towards the Lions in this matchup. I think they have the better quarterback. I'm going to take the better quarterback when it comes to this thing, because at some point Sam Darnold is going to come down a little bit. At some point. Now, the only thing in question is this Detroit Lions defense without Hutchinson. That's going to come into question. So the question is are the Lions going to play inspired football because Hutchinson is out? Right? Oh, this is for Hutch. We're doing this for Hutch, or are they going to play, kind of
mid?
Yeah, kind of mid. But I don't think they have that DNA in them. So I think they're going to come out.
Fight.
I think they're going to come out and they're going to play very well because they run the football, they throw it well offensively, and defensively is going to be the issue. But I think they'll be able to perform. So I'm taking the Lions. I'm going to lean the Lions on this game, but MustSeeTV for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm not mad at that. I do think it's a very good game. I think it's a very good matchup from a very tough division. So I do like that, and I do want to tap in and tune to that. I got Jets on fantasy, so I'm yelling go Vikings. Skull. But my biggest question as far as that matchup goes, the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones, still questionable. But he did get on the field, and he was at practice on Monday. So I'm thinking that they haven't really posted an injury report, and they won't do that until maybe later on today. But
Thursday.
Well, they say Wednesday, but probably Thursday. So Aaron Jones is a very key factor in that matchup. Without Aiden Hutchinson, I think they can generate a little bit more on the run game on their side to balance it out, because we know that Detroit can run the football.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they can pass the football. But Sam Darnold has thrown for over 1,100 yards so far. And coming off a bye week when you have a running back that was injured, that's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
So Aaron Jones out there, I might have to take Minnesota at home. I might take Minnesota at home just because Aiden Hutchinson is out. And that defense has been pretty damn good themselves. So they can slow them down.
Get 6th and 7th ranked defenses right now.
Yeah. Detroit is hard to stop.
They're difficult. They can do it all.
They can pass, they can run.
They can get tricky.
They can get real tricky. Yeah. They get saucy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way that Minnesota's defense has been playing and the way that the offense has been producing, I don't understand why Minnesota's offense isn't ranked higher than it is, because they've been putting up some points. But I think I'm going to go with Minnesota at home in this one. But it should be a very entertaining and good game to watch.
Oh, yeah, for sure. MustSeeTV.
My MustSeeTV, one of the games that I love is the Super Bowl rematch.
Oh, yeah. You got to always watch them.
Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers.
Both of these teams are beat to shit. Banged up.
Well, the 49ers are getting healthier.
Yeah, they're getting healthier.
They're getting a little bit healthier, so I wouldn't say that they're beat to shit. But but they playing against the Chiefs. And as we know, the Chiefs just find ways to win games. The Chiefs are a dog in this game, actually. I think it's a small point spread, but I think the 49ers are 1.5 point favorite in this game. To me, I just feel like for when it's a Super Bowl matchup, they've gotten beat by the Chiefs twice in the Super Bowl. They got a grudge against them.
Yeah, this is a rivalry game for them.
At this point, it's a rivalry game. So I think it should be very entertaining to watch.
Definitely must see.
The Chiefs defense, still manages to put together.
Spags, dial it up.
Spags gonna dial that motherfucker up regardless. That secondary though, I'm a little bit questioning, how well can the Chiefs secondary hold up against the 49ers getting healthier, and how much can they produce against the 49ers defense with their injuries. But as we seen that last game when they played against the Saints, they they'll find the motherfucker. They'll pull somebody out the crowd and make a play with Patrick Mahomes.
Well, listen, the Chiefs just coming off a bye, so they've been preparing for this week.
Yeah, they had a little extra time.
They had extra time, so I'm pretty sure they got Andy Reid drawing up some plays, studying these Niners to figure out what's
he got
going
some
on.
trickeration too.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of like the Chiefs in this spot coming off the bye week.
Yeah,
I think that gives them an advantage, even though they're on the road in this game, going into Levi Stadium. I think I like the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Chiefs, man.
But it should be a very good game.
I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes. That's suicide. You might as well run out in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, you got a better chance at 285.
Yeah,
at 4:00.
Yeah, so give me. I'm leaning Chiefs. Better quarterback. I'm gonna take all day long. The Niners, they've been playing okay, but they still got some questions.
Brock Purdy is thrown for 1,600 yards so far.
Yeah,
he been passing. That boy done threw a lot.
But that running back room is getting depleted week by week.
Yeah, that's a big factor too.
Yeah,
Mason got hurt.
But it seems like every running back they put in there runs the ball very well, so it doesn't even matter. Even the dude at the end, number 31, he broke for 70-something yards and fell down.
They found a guy, huh?
Yeah, they always find a guy. So,
what's the status on McCaffrey? He probably got another couple weeks or something.
Shit, their guess as good as mine. Week by week with McCaffrey.
We're probably not gonna see McCaffrey till like week 9.
Playoffs, maybe.
He said playoffs.
Playoffs, maybe.
That'll be even worse.
Yeah.
But so I think that's a must-see TV. What's another must-see TV game for you?
Yeah, last one for me would be Houston and Green Bay. Houston on the road. That's a good matchup. At Green Bay, you got two young quarterbacks.
That's a hell of a matchup.
Going at it. I'm curious to see how Houston performs without Nico Collins. But they do have Joe Mixon back.
They got Joe Mixon. They got Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of how well they perform on the road. Because on the road, they haven't been that great with C.J. Stroud in his career. So just a matter of seeing how well they perform on the road. But I do think Houston has the edge a little bit. I think they have a better defense. The Green Bay Packers defense is good as well. They they get the ball, they take the ball away. But that offense is really damn good too. Green Bay. So it's a good matchup here between those two young quarterbacks and that team. If I had to lean a certain way, it would probably be the home team in Green Bay. I would probably lean that way because of C.J. Stroud track record being on the road. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Green Bay Packers in this matchup to win this one.
I think I'm gonna go with you on that one. I just feel like the Packers at home, they play with pretty good energy. The defense, like you said, they get some takeaways out there. They've been getting scored on too now. That defense do get scored on. I think they do need Jair Alexander to really, really tighten up that defense. But no Nico Collins is a bit of a problem. They still have two very good wide receivers and a tight end with some pretty sure hands. So I'm not going to put it past Houston to be able to win this game. They 5-1 for a reason. They managed to squeak out some wins and pull some W's together, even when it looks a little bleak at times. So I'm not going to put it past them. Plus, Jordan Love has been a little bit turnover prone at the beginning of games. He tends to tighten up in the second half. But they're not scared to pass the football. And I think beating Houston, you got to be able to beat them through the air. They're pretty decent as far as run defense goes. But you got to be able to beat them through the air.
You got to run the football against Houston, too, because you don't want Will Anderson teeing off on you.
No, you don't want Will Anderson getting in the backfield teeing off on your quarterback all day either, because he can get some sacks.
Yeah, he had like 2 or 3 sacks this past week.
So him in his second year, CJ in their second year, they're still very dynamic just as much as their first year. So they're still scary. I'm not going to put it past. It's a little bit hard for me to call this game, but I'll lean towards the home team in an evenly matched squad situation. I'll lean towards the home team for that reason. But yeah, man. So with that being said, you talking about these games, but folks need to know, like, what are your best bets for week 7?
Yeah, my best bets this week, man. I'm taking quarterbacks this week. I'm taking the better quarterback. So I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles, my first best bet, over the New York Giants. -3. Philadelphia -3. They're playing in New York.
Okay.
This is a Saquon Barkley return to New York game. Revenge game, I should say.
Yeah. Saquon Barkley is about to go fucking
So shout out Props Made Easy. Go ahead and check that out. Your Saquon Barkley props. Just go ahead and cash those in.
Prop alert. Got a P alert.
Prop alert. Saquon Barkley over on everything. Go ahead and go hit that link in the description. Props Made Easy. But yeah, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles. They're healthy. AJ Brown's back. Smitty's back. Saquon coming back home. They get off of
that offense didn't do as much as I would.
They didn't do as well last week against the Browns. But you're playing against the Giants this week. The Giants defense is pretty good, but that offense just has too much firepower for the Giants, and the Giants do not play well at home, as we can see. Daniel Jones doesn't play well at home, as we just saw. So give me Philadelphia -3.
Okay.
I'm taking Kansas City Chiefs as an underdog +1.5. You giving me Kansas City as an underdog? I am taking it. Can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Like I said, I'm taking quarterbacks this week. Patrick Mahomes over Brock Purdy.
Off of a bye week.
Yeah. Andy Reid off of a bye is pretty damn good.
It's hard to bet against the Chiefs off a bye week.
Andy Reid off a bye. I'm taking that all day long. And then lastly, I'm taking Baltimore -3.5. They're on the road in Tampa.
Tampa Bay gives Baltimore some fits every now and then.
Yeah, but I'm taking Lamar, man. Lamar has been playing lights out over the past couple of weeks. They've been running the football with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry leading the league in rushing, just going nuts.
Yeah.
I just
Henry
think
is scary, right?
Yeah, I just think offensively it's just a little bit too much. What's the stat? Lamar Jackson versus NFC teams. He's 22-1. So we're going to keep that going. Lamar Jackson, give me the Baltimore Ravens -3.5. So that's Philadelphia -3. Oh, yeah. And Baltimore, obviously Lamar Jackson is better than Baker Mayfield. So I'm taking all quarterbacks this week. Philadelphia -3. Kansas City +1.5. The underdog Kansas City Chiefs. And then the Baltimore Ravens -3.5.
Okay. I actually like all three of your picks.
Beautiful bets.
I like all three of your picks. Now, how did you do last week?
I don't even remember. How did I do?
I think he was 1 and 2, brother. I think he was 1 and 2, brother.
1 and 2. That's what I do.
Me last week, I was 3 for 3.
Yeah,
I had a clean sweep. I put him in a parlay and that hit too. So I'm gonna try to replicate that. That's why I came in with my celebratory smoke today. So starting off, even though I've been giving them shit, they're playing against a team that is shit.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars in their second London game versus the New England Patriots. The only reason I'm taking them is because the New England Patriots. The Jacksonville Jaguars secondary is atrocious.
Yeah.
However, the New England Patriots wide receiving core is atrocious.
New England is London, right? That's a home game for them.
Supposedly. However, they fled the country, so I'm gonna keep them stateside.
Yeah.
But I just think that the New England Patriots wide receiving core is just not strong enough. They just don't have enough talent. Rookie quarterback Drake May coming in on his second starting game. He's playing against a secondary that's not very good. However, he just doesn't have that many people to actually pass the ball to.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'm gonna take Jacksonville -5.5. I'm not super thrilled about the 5.5. However, I just feel like I don't know how much offensive production the Patriots can produce. My second one in that one, I'm gonna take the Atlanta Falcons, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna sip the Kool-Aid a little bit. Now, you told me to simmer down when we was playing against the Carolina Panthers, and they covered.
They did.
They covered a lot. What are you talking about, man?
It took them a long time.
Man, they beat the shit out of them folks. What are you talking about?
It took a while.
It don't.
It wasn't a blowout.
They beat them by 18.
Third, fourth quarter.
I'm okay with that. You beat them by 18. We talking about covering point spreads
You're
right now.
Right.
And the biggest issue now, if this is actually more of a letdown game situation than the Carolina Panthers, for the simple fact that Seattle is still pretty good, but they're on a bit of a skid right now. They losing some games. They're getting scored on a lot. They got beat by the Giants. They got a bunch of points put up on them by Detroit. Didn't they lose to the Cowboys before that? I think they did. And the Falcons' offense has been rolling. Now, the edge rushing is going to be a key factor for the Falcons once again. How much can they contain Geno? How much time you going to give him? Do you let DK Metcalf get off? Do you let Tyler Lockett run free if he has too much time to pass? We don't know. We're going to see. And Kenneth Walker could have a good game because people have been able to run against us. However, I just feel like the offense has been producing, controlling the clock pretty well, putting points on the board. And the defense, like you said and alluded to earlier, they've been playing pretty well in situational football. So I think when it comes down to that, 2.5 points on this spread sounds about right. Younghoe Koo coming in for a game-winning field goal, I can see it.
Fair.
So I'm going to take the Falcons minus 2.5. 2.5 is a good point spread. And my last one, again, it's a high one. You know I don't like high point spreads. But Washington Commanders minus 8 versus the Carolina Panthers.
There's nothing wrong with taking a heavy favorite over a shit team.
A shit team. That's how I'm feeling. It's a heavy favorite over a shit team. I don't love 8 just as a point spread in general. But I think this is a good spot for Jaden Daniels to come out there and keep showing us some magic. I think he has multiple passing touchdowns in this game. Eckler being able to get off in that secondary. Their run defense is not good. So the Falcons put up 200 yards rushing on them last week. So I think Eckler, especially if they have Robinson back, I think they have a good rushing game and passing game. I don't think as much Carolina does to stop the offense. And in situational football, I do think Washington with Dan Quinn as the coach has been able to step up on a couple plays, get some sacks, make some situational football, make some things happen. And I don't think Carolina just does enough to stop it. That's just me. So I'm going to roll with Jacksonville minus 5.5, the Falcons minus 2.5, and Washington minus 8. All right, man. So with all that being said, these folks still got to know one more thing, though. Like one more thing before we let you go. Who you got? Who's barking to you? Who is your dog of the week?
Yeah, so my dog of the week this week, we already talked about him. I'm taking the Lions, man. I'm taking the Lions.
It's a good dog.
To Lions, they are a dog.
They are a dog.
That team is a dog.
They got that dog in them.
Yeah, that team got the dog in them. I'm gonna take them coming off, of a huge win versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Beat the shit out of them.
I think that bye week, Minnesota comes out a little bit slow. I think the Lions take that momentum there. Divisional game. You telling me the Lions are going to be an underdog? Jared Goff, the better quarterback. Like I said, I'm taking better quarterbacks. Give me the Lions, underdog. I'm taking that.
I'm not mad at it. I still got faith in Minnesota probably pulling this game out just a tad bit, but I'm not mad at it because it's Detroit division game. I can see it. I'm not.
For some reason, I still not buying Minnesota yet. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it.
It's
yet.
hard to buy into Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I'm not buying it yet. I think they beat Detroit. I'll buy them, but right now I'm not buying that.
This is definitely a prove it game for Minnesota.
For me, yeah.
This is a prove it game for Minnesota. If you could beat the Lions, I think you're proving something.
Yeah.
So I can see that, but it is a home game for Minnesota too. So we're gonna see.
Yeah.
Mine's. This week, my dog, I'm going to go with the champs, man. You telling me the Chiefs going, even if it's on the road, they're going against San Francisco. You telling me the Chiefs off a bye week, and even against a good San Francisco team.
It's a good bet.
They banged up at running back. Chris Jones he going to get back there. He going to put Purdy under pressure. I'm going to take the Chiefs. It's just hard to bet against Mahomes. You catch the Chiefs as a dog, it's never really that bad of a bet.
Not really bad of a bet.
So, as far as a dog...
This might be the only team they're underdog against.
It might be.
Yeah, but Andy Reid off a bye, He's pretty damn
Andy
good.
Reid off of a bye Super Bowl rematch, and they've proven multiple times that they can beat the San Francisco 49ers, even in a huge-ass game.
Yeah.
So give me the Chiefs. I'm going to take them as my dog of the week.
I'm running that too.
I'm hitting that too.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, man, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all keep on showing us love. Talk to us so we can talk back. You know we like to talk over here. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe, baby.
Them subscribers matter to us more than you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all keep on tapping in with us. Keep on showing us love. Tap into props made easy. We alluded to a few of them out there. The Saquon Barkleys.
Mm-hmm.
You got maybe some Jaden Daniels may have a nice day against Washington. It's a couple very good ones out there. My strategy, I like to look for a solid team against a badass defense. And then I start looking at those key guys. Who's your dynamic play guy? Then I'm gonna compare it on props made easy. If I see them pop up, I'm clicking it.
That's it.
Tyler Algier against a bad rushing team.
Run it.
He had 100 yards rushing against Carolina. That click, that hit, easy money. So I look for things like that, but use props made easy to help you with those bets, man. Anything else you gotta give to the people?
That's all I got, man. Week 7. Look forward to it, man, and let's get to it. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Parlays, making money line plays. Hopefully, all these bets pay.
Until next time, peace. Just give me a sec to run up a check. I got the success and get my respect. Don't sit